Hello and welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you can test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions, covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you're following us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mouse in the Mitten. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and make sure you have that bell turned on for notifications. Now, planning a Disney vacation can be daunting at times. If you are interested in getting some assistance in planning your next Disney vacation, whether it's to a park, on a cruise, anything in between, I would love to help you out. All you got to do, email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. We can get you all squared away. So a lot of really cool things happening this week, a lot of fun. So hopefully you enjoy this game as much as I have in presenting it. And we're going to start out round 1 talking about Tokyo Disneyland. This is the anniversary of Tokyo Disneyland and it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool park and I really hope to get there someday. They have some really cool animatronics. We'll touch on that a little bit as well today. So let's get started here with question number 1. Within 2, what year did Tokyo Disneyland open? Question number 2. Opening in 2001, what other theme park can you find along with Tokyo Disneyland? Question number 3. Tokyo Disneyland is what first for Disney? Question number 4. Tokyo Disneyland does not have a Main Street USA. What do they have instead? Question number 5. What movie had a ride open in 2020 in Tokyo and features an advanced animatronic that shows an amazing transformation? And question number 6. Name the movie that is the inspiration for Toontown in Tokyo Disneyland. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's give you some answers here on Tokyo Disneyland. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Tokyo Disneyland open? Well, it opened on April 15th, 1983. So in order to get the point there, you would have had to say between 1981 and 1985. It was a major adventure, and it opened just a few weeks after Epcot opened. They were almost building them simultaneously. Question number 2. Opening in 2001, what other theme park can you find along with Tokyo Disneyland? That is Tokyo Disney Sea. So that one is not too far away from Tokyo Disneyland, the original Tokyo park, and that one obviously a little bit newer as well. Question number 3. Tokyo Disneyland is what first for Disney? It was the first park that they built outside of the USA. It is technically their 4th park. You had Disneyland as park number 1, Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom is part 2, Epcot is 3, and then Tokyo Disneyland is park number 4, and obviously that is the first one that is not on U.S. soil. Question number 4. Tokyo Disneyland does not have a Main Street USA. What do they have instead? They have a World Bazaar. Now that one's a little bit different. It's actually covered. If you've ever seen pictures of it, it looks really cool. It does look like Main Street USA a little bit, but it is definitely, it's covered. That's kind of the biggest difference. Obviously Main Street USA is open to the elements. This one is covered. Question number 5. What movie had a ride open in 2020 in Tokyo and features an advanced animatronic that shows an amazing transformation? That is Beauty and the Beast. Now, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people have been going there recently, is if you have not seen the video of this ride, I highly recommend it. You can get a little dizzy when you're doing the Be Our Guest scene. You kind of go around in those teacups like crazy, but you get the idea of it. and it looks like a lot of fun. But the amazing transformation is when the beast goes from the beast to human. It is a really cool transformation. I think I know how they did it, but at the same point, it's one of those things where you're like, whoa, that is really, really cool. Last but not least, question number 6. Name the movie that's the inspiration for Toontown in Tokyo Disneyland. Theirs is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a huge movie in Japan, so it makes sense that they would theme that land after that movie. A little bit different than the Toontown in Disneyland, but it is a really cool setup, and something that's how they theme it obviously is really cool, and it's unique because Who Framed Roger Rabbit not only has Disney characters in it, but it also has a lot of other characters. Like, you have Bugs Bunny and you have Mickey Mouse, you have Daffy and you have Donald. It's kind of unique that they did that, but obviously only the Disney characters are in there. It's definitely a park that I would love to go see. Seems like a lot of fun, and definitely seems like a little bit of a different take, plus definitely some really cool rides. Continuing on now into round number 2. Round number 2 is our Fast Facts round. This round is filled with simple questions that have simple answers. Today's category is, where is that song from? For this round, what I literally did was went on Spotify's Disney Hits, and basically the first 5 songs or 6 songs that came up are the songs that we're going to ask about. Some of them easier, some of them not as easy. And I did try to make sure they were from 6 different movies. So all these songs are going to be, all you got to do is tell me the name of the movie that they came from. So I'm going to say the song title. You just got to tell me what movie did it come from. So let's get started with question number 1. Arabian Nights. Question number 2. When We're Human. Question number 3. Happy Working Song. Question number 4. Life is a Highway. Question number 5. If Only. And question number 6. I'm a Star. I felt like even though this was completely random, it's a good combination still. Got some old, got some, well, not, it's oldish. You got some new, you got a little bit of in between there. It's a good little combination here. So let's get started with question number 1. Arabian Nights. That is from Aladdin. Obviously, that is the opening song. It's what introduces us to the movie as we see Agrabah. Really cool little setup there. Question number 2. When We're Humans, that is Princess and the Frog. Obviously, that's when they meet Lewis. They're singing it in the bayou as they're trying to get to Mama Odie's. It's one of my favorite songs from that movie for sure. Question number 3. Happy Working Song, that is from Enchanted. That is the song that she's singing while she's cleaning up cleaning up the kitchen and everything else like that. It's a cool little scene, and Amy Adams has some pretty good vocals. Question number 4. Life is a Highway, that is from Cars. This is one of Rascal Flatts' most successful songs, so it is on their greatest hits album, but it does come from the movie Cars. Question number 5. If Only. This is from Descendants. Now, I will admit it. I have never seen a Descendants movie. It's right when I kind of was aging out of like Disney Channel and that sort of stuff. They started coming out with these, but I know the music is very popular. It's on my list of things to watch. Not just the first one, but all of them. So I'll get on that one here shortly, especially as we kind of get a little bit closer to summer kind of rolling around. And last but not least, question number 6. I'm a Star. That is from Wish. That is one of the newest songs that is on this list. It is the newest song on this list, but it's a cool song. It's interesting when you hear it, and then when you see what they did with it, how they kind of folded in some other Disney references. But it's always fun to talk about Disney songs, so we might see this one again. Continuing on now into round number 3. Round number 3 is our Connecting the Circles. For this round, I'm going to ask you 5 questions that may or may not be Disney related. But the answers do relate to each other in some way through Disney. And that's going to be the sixth question, is what is the connection? So first 5 questions are maybe Disney related, and then the sixth question is what is the connection? Just got to let me know what is that Disney connection. So let's get started with question number 1. What animal includes varieties such as golden retrievers, Cavalier King Charles, corgis, and English bulldogs? Question number 2. Babe, Charlotte's Web, and Animal Farm is all based around what animal? Question number 3. Ribeye, top blade, brisket point, and shoulder are all steak cuts from what animal? Question number 4. What is an acronym that people often use to describe someone as the best person in their area to ever do something? Question number 5. What animal is used in competition that was made famous from a short story by Mark Twain that came out in 1865? And question number 6 is what is that connection? I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to make that connection, and then I will return. All right, let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. What animal includes varieties such as golden retrievers, Cavalier King Charles, corgis, and English bulldogs? That is, of course, I just kind of gave it away there, dogs. I have a Cavalier King Charles, was raised with golden retrievers. They are phenomenal pets. I am a dog person, so I will always love dogs. Just a little bit more than cats. Cats are cool, but I just prefer dogs. Question number 2. Babe, Charlotte's Web, and Animal Farm is all based around what animal? That is a pig. Obviously, Babe is the pig. Charlotte's Web makes the webs that say some pig, all that sort of stuff. And then Animal Farm, we're not going to get into the ins and outs of Animal Farm. Just know pigs are kind of the main push there. So they're way smarter than people give them credit for. I will say that. Question number 3. Ribeye, top blade, brisket point, and shoulder are all steak cuts from what animal? That is a cow. Now, before you're like, oh, steaks only come from cows. No, you can get steaks from fish as well. But when it comes to those cuts, that is definitely from a cow. Question number 4. What is an acronym that people often use to describe someone as the best person in their area to ever do something? That is a GOAT. So the GOAT usually stands for greatest of all time. You hear it said a lot when it comes to athletes, whether it's Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, right now, Caitlin Clark, but I've heard it used as well as saying, oh, they're the GOAT of financing, or they're the GOAT of this. So oftentimes you'll hear kids say that that person is goated or I'm goated. It all means they think that they're the greatest of all time. Question number 5. What animal is used in competition that was made famous from a short story by Mark Twain that came out in 1865? That is a frog. We are talking about frog jumping, where you start at a point, you find a frog, and you try to get them to jump 3 times and see how far you can get them to jump. And it's very popular in places where there are a ton of frogs, and the competition kind of spurred from a Mark Twain short story. So question number 6 is what is the connection? Well, we had answers such as dogs, pigs, cow, goat, and frog. Well, those are all the animals mentioned in Dig a Little Deeper. I'm not sure if you picked it up, but if all of a sudden I said a dog, a pig, a cow, a goat, we've had them all in here. We've had them all in here. That might have figured it out for you. And obviously, Mama Odie mentions the frog because at the time, Tiana and Aviv are frogs. So yeah, those are the animals that are mentioned and dig a little deeper. I'm going to be interested to see if that is incorporated with the new Splash Mountain, but fun little thing. I just sat there and I heard this song a couple days ago and went, oh, I think that'd be a good one. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Continuing on into round number 4. Round number 4 is typically reserved for movie anniversaries. Typically, this isn't one of them. There were some okay movies that came out during this past week, but nothing like what we're going to see over the next few weeks as we start to head into Memorial Day and summer break and all that sort of stuff. Plus, we're starting to get into the meat and potatoes of Marvel season, so we're going to hit a lot on Marvel movies. This week, though, we're going to not talk about a movie anniversary. Instead, we're going to talk about a theatrical anniversary. We're going to talk about Beauty and the Beast, the Broadway musical. There's an anniversary for Beauty and the Beast, the Broadway musical. We'll have a little bit of fun talking about the musical that started it all for Disney to go on Broadway. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, what year did Beauty and the Beast make its debut on Broadway? Question number 2. Who wrote the music for the stage version as well as the movie version of Beauty and the Beast? Question number 3. What island nation saw the first international showing of Beauty and the Beast? Question number 4. Name the song that was added 4 years after the debut of the show that was written specifically for Toni Braxton and has been in the show ever since. Question number 5. What longtime Broadway actress played the first Belle? And question number 6. Within 2, when did Beauty and the Beast start touring the U.S.? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get you some answers here on Beauty and the Beast, the Broadway musical. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Beauty and the Beast make its debut on Broadway? It made its debut on April 18th, 1994. So in order to get the point there, what I had to say between 1992 and 1996. Now, it should be noted that Beauty and the Beast came out in 1992. So literally, it was 2 years later, and it was already on Broadway. Matter of fact, it tested in Austin, Texas in late 93. So yeah, in about a year, they had this turned around into a stage show. It's pretty impressive considering everything that goes into making a stage show. Not just the music, but the costumes, casting, everything else like that. It's a long process. Question number 2. Who wrote the music for the stage version as well as the movie version of Beauty and the Beast? Well, that was Alan Menken. Now, lyrics were by Howard Ashman and Tim Rice, and if you know about the history of Beauty and the Beast, it was the last movie that Howard Ashman actually worked on, and Beauty and the Beast was technically dedicated to him. So after he had passed away, Tim Rice was brought in to help with the lyrics for some of the new songs that were added to the stage show. Question number 3. What island nation saw the first international show of Beauty and the Beast? That is Australia. Now, for me, personally, I would think if I'm going to have a stage show of Beauty and the Beast, the first place I would bring it would be Paris. But I think Australia is also a really good one to go towards, just because trying to translate things is much less as opposed to having to literally translate everything from English to French. Australia speaks English, so it's an easy transition. Question number 4. Name the song that was added 4 years after the debut of the show that was written specifically for Toni Braxton and has been in the show ever since. That is A Change in Me. Now, apparently the story goes that Toni Braxton was an interest for some of the writers and producers to be Belle for a couple month run on Broadway, but there were some negotiations, there was some back and forth, and finally a inebriated Tim Rice agreed to write a song specifically for Toni Braxton. The next day he had it was set, it was ready to go, and she had a 3-month run as Belle. So that's kind of where that came about, but ever since that song has been in the show, highly recommend listening to it if you have not done so. Question number 5. What longtime Broadway actress played the first Belle? Well, that was Susan Egan, and phenomenal actress. She is still on Broadway, still doing a great job. She is phenomenal. If you are ever in New York and you want to see someone even still to this day who can just flat out act and sing, look her up, see wherever she's at. Highly recommend it. Last but not least, question number 6. Within 2, when did Beauty and the Beast start touring the U.S.? Well, it started touring on November 15th, 1995. So in order to get the point there, what I had to say between 1993 and 1997. Now, again, this is a big thing. It takes a long time to plan these tours and everything else like that. Within a year, they were up, and a year and a half, they were up and running with a national tour. That one ran from 1995 until I believe 1999. Then another one went from 2001 to 2004, with another one going from 2003 until about 2006. So they're constantly pumping these tours out. It's, again, a really cool show. It's a little bit different than the movie, but everything they've added was a positive. So again, if you get the chance to go and see it, doesn't matter if it's on Broadway or a touring show, but I believe it's off Broadway now. Had a good long run there, but I believe it's off. But rumors are it might be coming back. But if you get a chance to see it, highly recommend. It is fantastic. Wrapping up today's game, round number 5 is going to be titled, "Where is that quote from?" So for this round, what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a movie quote. You just have to tell me what Disney movie is that quote from. Now, we went a little sassy today. Some of these quotes are a little bit sassy from some of the sassier moments, but I did make sure that I have 6 different movies here. All right, so let's get started with quote number 1. "You fight almost as well as a man. Funny, I was going to say the same thing about you." Quote number 2. "I don't want to talk about it. Good. We don't want to hear about it." Question number 3. "I haven't seen this much love in a room since Narcissus discovered himself." Question number 4. "Ladies don't start fights, but they can finish them." Question number 5. "Look in the mirror. I see a strong, confident, beautiful young lady. Oh, look, you're here too." And question number 6. "Let me guess. You have a great personality." All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, and then I will return to wrap up today's game. All right, let's see if we can wrap up today's game and talk a little bit of fun about some Disney quotes. So question number 1. "You fight almost as well as a man. Funny, I was going to say the same thing about you." That quote is from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is where Esmeralda and the new sheriff are talking back and forth after they just defeated some of the other police officers and that sort of stuff who are trying to stop the gypsies. Fun little back and forth, fun little quip there as well. Question number 2. "I don't want to talk about it. Good. We don't want to hear about it." That is from The Lion King. That's when Simba first meets Timon and Pumbaa. Simba says, "I don't want to talk about it." Timon says, "Good, we don't want to hear about it." And it's just a funny little back and forth, and kind of where it starts the Hakuna Matata.